I thought, how can I immortalize these things that I care a lot about? And the way I chose to do that was to creating these dioramas. When people hear that I make these, the first thought is, well, that's a little nerdy. And I totally embrace that. When they see them in person, it's a different reaction. AMC is successful at telling stories. And what I hope to achieve in my dioramas is an encapsulation of those stories.
Yep, that's me. And you're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. The truth is, long before I collected playing cards, I was an avid collector of 1/6 scale action figures, and because, as Lady Wake will probably tell you, I don't know how to do anything in a half-assed fashion, I ended up going from buying mass-produced figures to compiling and constructing expertly crafted, one-of-a-kind custom figures and dioramas. My figure displays grew in notoriety among the small niche of collectors out there, and eventually it landed me in front of television cameras for that promo, as opposed to behind the cameras, which is where I was used to being at that point in my life. Anyway, things changed. My interest in highly detailed and intricate collectibles goes back quite far. As a kid, I collected G.I. Joes and superhero comic books, which in turn, as an adult, led to the perfect intersection of both pastimes with my discovery of Hot Toys. For the uninitiated, Hot Toys is a Hong Kong-based collectible toy company founded a little more than 2 decades ago by Howard Chan. Unlike what you'd expect from the term Hot Toys, the company actually specializes in licensed 1/6 scale reproductions of your favorite characters from movies and TV shows, both modern and past. Hot Toys has made a global empire out of doing what they do and doing it really well. 20 years ago, the quality might not be where it is today, but they've made a living out of improving and iterating, sometimes literally. And well, let's put it this way. I want to apologize in advance to any spouses of collectors out there who might just about to be introduced to the coolest friggin' thing they've ever seen. I'm sorry about your savings account. I'm the Gentleman Wake, and in today's episode, we are going to look at the awesome 1/6 scale Avengers Endgame Captain America action figure. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell if you enjoy premium cinematic reviews of cool products like the one I'm about to show you. I should mention that I've owned quite a few Hot Toys figures in the past, including several versions of Captain America dating back to Captain America the First Avenger in 2001. It's been about 5 years since the last time I bought a new Hot Toys figure, and when I received the figure in this box, I could say hands down that not only is this the best iteration of the character I've ever seen, and judging by the final scene of Endgame, it's also likely to be the last uniformed classic version we'll get, but this is the best Hot Toys figure I've ever owned. It's really impressive how far they've come. Now, Hot Toys has a knack for producing some odd variants of older releases. It's something they're famous for, and I wouldn't put it past them to do so again, but I'm confident when I say that this is the best Hot Toys Captain America there is for anyone looking for a screen-accurate representation of the character in 1/6 scale. The figure, officially denoted as the 536th figure in the movie Masterpiece series, comes packaged in this high-quality full-color box that features a portrait of Chris Evans' cap on the front. There's the trademark Avengers A logo as well as the character name. The Avengers Endgame logo in the middle denotes which film the figure inside's look is based on. The logo is treated with a UV coating that makes it shiny and slick to the touch. The back features some of the product warnings and manufacturer information and the producer info as well. The outer sleeve of the box slides off to reveal a clear plastic window displaying the contents within. On the back, the art and design credits for the figure can be found. Pulling out the blister pack interior trays reveals several of the accessories included within, including the iconic shield in both battle-worn fashion and as destroyed by the mighty Thanos in the film's climax. Hot Toys is famous for including a lot of accessories with their figures, although this particular figure forgoes quantity for quality. The only really important accessories included are of course the shield and Thor's hammer Mjolnir. More on those in a bit. Also included are a slew of accessories that let you customize the look of your figure and, more importantly, change the intent and expression of it. Here's what you get. There are 2 shields, which are unfortunately plastic. Hot Toys has included some die-cast metal accessories before, but this time they chose to cut a bit of costs. It's one of the only major critiques that I have of this release. The die-cast shield and hammer would have raised the level of this figure even further. Having said that, the weathering on the shield is decent, and the cracks appearing in the broken shield seem accurate to the film. The underside of each includes the leatherette straps and the buckles used to attach them to the figure. I think overall the design allows for multiple posing options, but it does feel a bit flimsy and delicate, and I can foresee someone somewhere accidentally breaking a fragile piece of the clasps or buckles just from momentarily not knowing their own strength. I advise extreme caution when handling any small plastic bits. Also included is Thor's hammer. As mentioned, it's nicely detailed and features all the runic etchings spoken into the hammer by Odin. Quote, "Whosoever holds this hammer, if they be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor." One of the main reasons I chose to pick up some Hot Toys figures again, aside from sharing their awesomeness with you on this channel, was because of just how amazing the experience of Avengers Endgame was. The culmination of 20 films and just about a decade of world building, that movie offered so many payoffs to plots and moments years in the making. Now, since the first Avenger, I've been a fan of the character of Captain America, especially under the amazing direction of the Russo brothers. Winter Soldier, which is actually my favorite MCU film, really was the point where Cap became my most beloved MCU character.
Damn right.
The scene in the movie where he finally, to many a fan service, wields Mjolnir still gives me goosebumps. And when Thor mouths, "I knew it," in acknowledgement of Cap's worthiness, we understand because we knew it too. This may ruffle some feathers, but the entire sequence, in my opinion, is up there in cinema history with Vader and Luke's "I'm your father" exchange. In fact, I suspect many kids will one day hold the Mjolnir sequence as the barometer with which they compare everything else. So, having a cap, even one so immaculately realized that didn't come accessorized with the hammer, would have just been plain wrong. Also included with the figure is a small black clip used for attaching the shield to the figure's back, more on that in a bit, and a tiny folding compass complete with a picture of Steve Rogers' sweetheart, Peggy Carter. As usual with Hot Toys, the figure comes with a multitude of posed hands designed to work with the accessories. You get standard fists and grips for both hands, a pointing right hand helping him lead the way, an outstretched right hand good for dynamic poses, and a clasping left hand that can hold the compass or fit nicely onto the shield. It can also be used for holding the included standalone Cap helmet, no doubt intended to be paired with the also included second unhelmeted Steve Rogers head sculpt. Okay, I'm not done with the accessories yet, but I want to talk about the second head sculpt for a moment. What shrink ray wizardry is this? This sculpt is absolutely spectacular. Looking at it through the macro lens of my camera, you can really appreciate the fine level of details, the freckles, the mole on the cheek, the irises, the eyelashes. It's a true marvel. No pun intended. This isn't Steve Rogers, it's Chris freaking Evans. I can't imagine how cool it must be for the actor when he's presented with a finished figure like this. In conjunction with the helmet accessory, this sculpt gives Cap a much more casual and relaxed feel. Well, at least I think it would. I wouldn't know since I couldn't get the main sculpt off the figure. The helmeted sculpt is actually in 2 pieces, allowing for a second joint at the neck. It's great for posing, but an absolute nightmare to pull off. I was gripping the neck piece pretty tightly, and I was worried that I'd tear the costume or damage the figure, despite reading just how to do it in the included instruction sheet. So I guess rather than chance ruining it, I simply left the helmeted sculpt on. Speaking of the helmeted sculpt, the lower half of the face is actually removable, allowing you to swap expressions by simply attaching a different magnetized mouth and chin to the head. You get a neutral expression, a grimaced expression perfect for shield throwing action poses, and a slightly open mouth expression that I think is taken from the moment right before Cap says, "Avengers assemble," at the climax of Endgame. All of the lower mouth portraits are great, and the paint application is consistent and very well done. I mean, just look at the teeth. Also included in the box is an adjustable stand in 2 parts designed to hold the figure from below the crotch area. There's really no way to say it so it doesn't sound weird. The hexagonal base includes some Avengers graphics and an image of Cap's shield, and includes a nameplate just in case the perfect 1/6 scale reproduction of the character wasn't obvious enough. As for the figure itself, Hot Toys spares no expense when it comes to getting the details and the look just right. The suit itself is simply fantastic. The scale mail armor includes streaks of silver, giving the impression of paint rubbing off the edges of individual scales. The padding on the red-white abdominal area is lightly weathered and finely stitched. The fabric of the suit itself feels right, which is really the best compliment I can give it. The shoulder pads, the straps, the red trim, the buckles, the star on the chest, it's all, in a word, perfect. The sculpted hands are great, as are the sculpted boots, which are actually in 2 parts, allowing for nice ankle articulation. Hot Toys also simply nailed the stature and shape of the figure itself. The proportions are the best of any Hot Toys Captain America figure I've seen. The body feels solid, and it can easily hold the weight of just about any reasonable pose. Now, marketing copy on the Sideshow website, Sideshow is the official US distributor of the Hot Toys brand, says that the 12.5-inch figure has 30 points of articulation. I'm sure that's true. However, even though the figure in theory could move in just about any realistic way, in practice it's a very different matter. The tight-fitting suit makes posing the figure in an extreme way pretty perilous, and you wouldn't want to stretch that fine, good-looking stitching, as it would risk breaking it. In fact, there's been some reports on some older releases of suit tears and unsightly creasing. In all honesty, however, the limited articulation is probably a good thing. There's a definite emphasis on the second word in the term action figure rather than the first one. To their credit, Hot Toys did utilize stretchy fabric along the more movable parts of the figure, like the shoulders and elbows, but there was no posing the lower half of the figure without feeling like the pants were threatening to come off. Again, there's no way to say that without sounding weird. All in all, I'm okay with a little sacrificing of articulation if it means a better looking figure. And the reality is, despite the word toys being in the Hot Toys name, these figures are really mixed media sculptures designed to look fantastic on a display or a shelf with just enough limited posability to keep you from getting bored, which honestly, what more could you ask for? These figures also don't have toy prices. The Hot Toys Movie Masterpiece Series 536 Avengers Endgame Captain America, say that fast 3 times, is currently still available for pre-order on sideshow.com, link in the description below, for $274. In an admission of the rather steep price, Sideshow does offer a layaway payment plan spread out over a few months to help take the sting out of the hit on the wallet. Once again, on behalf of the collectors, I apologize to the spouses out there. If you like this kind of review, be sure to leave a comment down below. To check out another review of a great Avengers themed product, playing cards by Theory 11, click on the video that will appear right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I've been the Gentleman Wake. See you next time.